Assalamu alaikum. That means, may God's peace be unto you and who you represent. Praise be to God, the guardian evolver, sustainer, and cherisher of all systems of knowledge. And when we say all systems of knowledge, we mean the knowledge that the human being learns from this marvelous creation. The scientists, the sociologists, the chemists, the farmers, the mother, the fathers, all the sciences, all the knowledge that comes from creation. We thank the Creator for earth, wind, fire, and water. Praise be to God. We can't thank Him enough for all that He has given us, all He has blessed us with. He has blessed us with an abundance of knowledge that we will not be able to consume if we were to live forever. Because we're finding out more and more and more. You do know, the neurologists, you do know, those that study eyes, that they go into the study of the retina, they go into the study of all the different specifics and particulars that allows for us to see. And they study the veins, the vessels, they study all of that and wonder, wow, how marvelous this is that we can have such a sense of the five senses that mesmerize us. Who could have put this together to allow for us to hear? The mechanisms of hearing, and all the specifics and particulars, and how we're able to smell. The Creator. We should thank the Creator because the Creator has blessed us with so much, so much, that we bypass thanking Him for. So, I open with that. This is Brother Kadir on Words Make People. And as always, we'd like for you to call a friend, a neighbor, a relative, a cousin, a co-worker, someone you know that may appreciate some words that would help us get through what we're going through, regardless of whatever we're going through. We're going through influences. We say there are 9 influences. And we need to know and understand how we allow for those influences. This is the program that's called Words Make People. And a word is anything that brings a message to your mind. And there are words that define themselves. Like the word influence, it defines itself. In the word influence is the word in. And then also there's the word flu, F-L-U. No, I'm not asking you to go get a flu shot. I didn't say that. Don't go there. I'm saying to you, be careful of the flu, a sickness that you see, that you may want to have, has been demonstrated on the web, Instagram, media. Be careful of the flu that will make you sick and tired of being sick and tired. You heard that before, right? Be assured, you must understand that with all the things that's going on in America, outside of America, are influences. The seducer. Who is the seducer? The Satan, the devil, the seducer that wants to influence you, to feed you appetites that you can't afford. And these appetites that we can't afford, we think is something we must have to compete with her and him and them. Sorry. You might have been lied to, programmed misused, abused. To think because of the programming, because of the television, someone giving you a vision, someone feeding you appetites that you can't afford, that you must have this understanding that you are no good, that you are ugly, that you are indecent, that you are not privileged, that you are not supposed to have dignity and respect and honor, that you're supposed to subscribe to a prescription that's inconsistent with the natural nature. Your natural nature has an appetite for you to be excellent. Excellence. Let me repeat that. In the law of the human being's contextual understanding, the law says that you should have an appetite for excellence. You don't want to be excellent? In your speech? In your thinking? In your understanding of life's true meaning? You don't want excellence? You don't want to excel? To become better than what you are? Are you satisfied and have a sufficiency to understand who the Creator is? And why the Creator has given you an opportunity to excel in life as long as you live for the purpose of being humane, not to be black or white, not to subscribe to your culture per se, but to subscribe to a human excellence. To a human excellence. We, as humans, are not like animals. In some instances, we are similar in some respects. You see how the mother bear, mother lion, mother cub, mother hawk, how they protect their children. Yeah, well, same with women. Females, mothers, protect their children to the hilt. Yes. Birth them, nurture them, keep them in a format that's consistent with understanding life's true meaning until they can eventually be on their own and they go and they venture and excel in knowledge, excel in understanding of life's true meaning and how to protect yourself, how to maintain for yourself, how to provide for yourself. Yeah. So the last time we shared knowledge was a time when the war broke out with the Philistines. You know them as the Palestinians, but they are the Philistines. And Israel, as it's called. And you've heard so much about what's been going on, what's been happening, all the specifics and all the particulars. You've been hearing so much from this media and that media, MSNBC, CNN, Instagram, Meta, Mecca, K, TikTok, all you've been hearing so much. And you know, here on Words Made People, we believe you must go to the seed. And what is the seed in this situation? I think I mentioned it to you. The seed in this situation is that the Israelis said God prescribed and told them from their ancestry that this is their land, that that part of the earth belongs to them. So therefore, there's only one way to resolve the matter, right? I believe I mentioned this last time. I'm just repeating for those of you that might not have heard. And the way to resolve this matter is to bring God to court. I know you're laughing. You say, "Oh, what? You done bugged." I know. You better believe it. Bring God to court as a witness And then the attorneys will ask God, in front of the judge, if we want to have a jury, and God is going to be asked, God, did you say that this land belongs to the Israelis? Since you know and I know that's not going to happen. That's not happening. We all realize that. But I'm just saying to you, that's the only way to resolve it. For the world to see and hear and understand. If in fact it is true that God has given this land to the Israelis. They're not going to go with anything in Scripture. Zero, because they got different understandings and different backgrounds and dialogues. And so, since that's not going to happen, you're not going to bring God to court. You can squash that. Be assured of that. Then let's be sober. Let's have a sober admiration for one another. Let's have a sober admiration for one another. Philistinians have a sober admiration for the Israelis, and the Israelis have a sober. Let's just share the land. And each one has a state. Is that possible? That was talked about, right? I'm only going over this here because this is what we talked about before. I just want to clarify with you. So this way you're aware of where I am in my understanding today that I expressed at our last program. So you can see where I'm going. And so that's a good idea, right? If you need a mediator or anything like that, you can have America as a mediator, or Saudi Arabia as a mediator, or Egypt, or Lebanon, or one of the other countries. It could be someone in Europe, could be Japanese, could be the Chinese as the mediators or assisting in this process of coming to an understanding of, this is your state and this is your state, and we go from there. Never should a American president, say, yes, this is your land and this is what we believe you should have over here. This should be your Jerusalem. Should the president of the United States do that? Where do they have the authority to do that? Where does? Really? Okay. So that would be a solution. Would it not be? They all had their own state, and they remain balanced and sober, and at least now both can grow. Their children can have growth and development, opposed to the Palestinians not being able to have control over their water, over their electricity, over their income of food and resources, opposed to someone else having control over their resources that can stop medications from coming in and other types of important significance that allows for them to nourish their population. You understand, okay? Each one has their own state. They can negotiate whatever they want to negotiate with to do what they have to do. And pray and hope they don't fight again, Whenever there's a conflict, there's one of three ways out of a conflict. It's either going to be a win-win, a win-loss, or a loss-loss. Both can win if you have a sober admiration for each and you begin to dialogue and not argue to the point where you're ready to fight. Same thing in a household. Don't fight with your wife. Don't fight with your husband. Have a conversation. Can't have a conversation? Nip it. When you see it's about to become an argument, you know what that means. Be prepared. I said be prepared. What? Be prepared for what? This is words make people. In the word mother is the word other. In the word other is the word the. In the word the is the word he. In the word other is the word her, mother. The other, her, he. Her greatest weapon is a two-edged sword. That tongue looks like a sword. In the word sword is the word word. Believe me, she will get the last word. And you may not like it. And since you may not like it, you may want to get physical, vulgar, and absolutely violent. So, men, have a conversation. You ain't got no win when it comes to having an argument with a woman. Forget that. Whether you're taller than her and she's shorter than you, look, don't let her be the same height now. Let me get back to what I'm talking about. This is intelligent humor and intelligent entertainment, okay? It's not just giggling and laughing. So, two-state. And if that can't happen, if that cannot happen, then one culture is going to subscribe to their operating system, who taught them how to be the boss. One may say the Philistines was taught by the Afghans in Iran. Others may say that the Israelis were taught by Hitler and America. Wow, that's deep, huh? Is that not deep? Now, who wins? Either it's going to be a win-win, or win-loss, or a loss-loss. And if one thinks that they're winning because they're just bombarding the other, that's not a win. You're being recognized in the world as being inhumane, meaning unhuman, have no sense of understanding that children and seniors and women are dying at your behest of you men and some women of your culture and your country for revenge for what took place. Violence is inappropriate use of force. Based on that definition, you never, ever, Eve, have the right to violate. Violate is gone above and beyond. You have a right to defend yourself. Defend yourself doesn't mean that you go contrary to defending yourself and now you become the aggressor. Now you become the violent person. Now you become, in the sight of the world, as being despicable. For the world to say you are committing an inhumane, intolerable behavior that the world is seeing and recognizing because the Creator has allowed for the human being, like no other time, to see it live and in color of the abuse. I think you feel and understand what I'm saying. There has to be a sobering factor. We can march on Washington. We can march and march and march and protest and demonstrate and demonstrate. I'm saying to you, dear beloved people, especially you young people, you have to get, as Bob Marley said, these old bald heads out of office. If you want to have a most excellent republic, a most excellent democracy for the future. Otherwise, if you don't understand the significance of a vote, the significance of voting, you're done. Finished. Lost. There'll be a dictator that want to come in and tell you this is what you're going to do. You're going to be their property. I will never be with that. I love death the way they love life. Who are they? I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about the enemy to mankind. The enemy to mankind comes in all forms, complexions, cultures. I'm saying to you, dear beloved people, you young people, get a grip on the understanding of laws and the significance of your vote, of your voice. Because if you don't, you're going to suffer. Worse than how my ancestors suffered. But through our resiliency, we've been able to get to the point where we are today in America to have a voice, to stand firm, to be serious, and to say, I dare you to put your foot on my neck. Dear beloved people, if in fact you as a human being can't manage and handle your business here in America, in Europe, and in Africa, and in Asia, be assured God will divinely satisfy what's needed. God is obligated to divinely intervene, to say to the human being, I'm alive. That God's seeing what's going on. And when man can't handle his business, man can't do what's necessary to take care of what he's supposed to take care of, and it's a little too much for him, God is obligated to divinely intervene. And when God divinely intervenes, no human being can stop God. Word or fact. This is words made people. And the word fact is the word act. There's no acting when it comes to the creator of the heavens and the earth. No acting, no Hollywood. No. It's a fact. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Don't wait for God. Because innocent people will die in that process. Read your scripture, and you will see how there were those that were innocent, that died, that passed away when God divinely intervened. As God has been divinely intervening in various parts of the world in the last year, 5 years, 10 years. And you say, how could God allow for this to happen over here? How? Do you believe that God is saying to us that you as a human being, that we as a human beings allow for this to happen because we didn't do what was necessary? And what was necessary? To try to stop a wrong with your hands. 2, to speak out against it. 3, to hate it in your heart, which is the weakest of the 3. Hating it in your heart is being silent. And being silent, to a large degree, is prescribing to the prescription. And you may be benefiting from that being silent. So, dear beloved people, it's in our hands as human beings not to go out and kill innocent people. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about love death the way people love life. Those that love life that's doing wrong. 5 P's, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Prepare yourself. Make sure you have water, honey, rice, coffee. In case you don't get no water, you don't get no electricity. Is that possible? You got any wood to burn a fire? to cook some rice with water. Heat up some water for coffee. Put some honey in there, posted sugar. That'll help sustain your life for a minute. Many can't speak up because they'll get fired from their employment. I say to you, dear beloved people, get with those that think like you, and let's make a difference. Our generation is coming up. They need to understand the significance of the past and how we got to this point in life where there's so much going on that it just razzle-dazzles people and wonder why. Who has started all this? Where did it come from? Why? Well, in certain states, if you can't study why, because a certain history has been denounced and you can't have history in school no more, where are you going to get it from? Your parents? Or parent? From the streets? You want proper knowledge. You want accurate knowledge. Knowledge that will help you understand life's true meaning and how we got from one place to the next, to here we are today. And the challenge is still here. You should love a challenge. Certainly with difficulty comes ease. Certainly with struggling and fighting comes relief. Let us not allow for the next generation to have to go through what we had to go through. Let us help now. Let us try to do something about it. Ask yourself, what are you doing about it? I hear that on Urban View on a regular with the Black Eagle, Joe Madison. What are you going to do about it? I'm saying, as many others say, vote. Don't think your vote don't count. Vote them out of office. Put the person in office that you believe should be there. And if that person you put in office doesn't subscribe to the prescription, vote them back out. Put someone else in there. Words make people. Thank you very much. May God's peace and blessings be upon you and who you represent. Assalamu alaikum.